Do you hit fat pitch shots? A lot of people that I work with struggle to hit the ball solidly when they're hitting little shots around the greens, chips and pitch shots. What happens is they swing the golf club back and the club tends to enter the ground before it hits the ball, and they end up hitting either a fat shot or they'll hit up on the ball and hit it too far because they're getting too much at the bottom of the club on the top of the ball. In today's lesson, what I'm going to do for you is show you a really simple way to get much more solid contact that will mean more spin on the golf ball and ball behaving just the way you want when it hits the green. Because a lot of people that I talk to in my golf school say that they don't get enough spin on the ball when they're hitting chips and pitch shots around the greens, and most of the reason for that is the way they're using the golf club in relation to the ball. And what we're really looking for when we strike a golf shot, and again I've got my plane board set up here so that you can see the club swinging along the plane. You can see it from this angle quite well. Club's travelling in an arc up and then down, and we want to strike that golf ball before we strike the ground. That's the key. Now, with a lot of people, they'll talk about weight shift and all sorts of things like this, but as I mentioned in my lesson on the swing plane for pitch shots, the golf club gets too much behind the body line. That's the problem to start with, because the club's not swinging back very far and the club head itself is quite close to the ground, and gravity is going to affect it to a degree. So as it starts down, the club travels downwards more than you want it to, so it invariably gets the ground before it gets the ball. So what we need to do is have an action that allows us to get the club traveling up and down more so that we can strike the ball at the right time in the swing. What I've got is a prop set up here. I've got my target arrow, and I'm going to lean it on top of this range bucket like this so that you can see from the angle you're watching on the video that I've got this inclined plane that's set up. I actually have two inclined planes. I have the inclined plane for the shaft angle, this one, but I also have the inclined plane for the club head. Now people have probably, you'll be the first time you've probably seen this illustrated this way, but it's going to help you enormously. What we're looking to do is make the club head travel up and down the inclined plane, but also maintain its relationship to the original plane. So in other words, when the club's swinging back, it's maintaining this relationship, this plane relationship, and the club is traveling up and down more. So what happens is, I'm setting up here, I'm going to play the ball a little towards my right foot. I've set up, my hands are forward, I'll have the handle pretty much off the middle of my left thigh. So this is my setup position. My right hand's comfortably on the side of the club. I'm not holding on tightly with my right hand. Literally, I'm just bringing it up, putting it on the side of the club, like so. And the key here is to get the club head up in the air, but to also maintain its relationship to the plane. So watch what happens when I do this. Up the plane, down, so the club strikes into the ground and then travels forward along the plane. Let's do that again, so you can see it really clearly. Okay. Club head's going to travel up the inclined plane here, that's this one here. It's travelling up, and it's also, as you look at it, the club head's staying in front of you. It's in front of your eyes here, it's not over here somewhere. So it's maintaining its relationship to the plane, and it's maintaining its relationship to this inclined plane, which you could call your attack plane if you like. That's the angle that the club's going to travel down into the ground. Let's have a look at it. Up the plane, down and through. So I've pitched that ball beautifully. I've got ball first, ground second, club's maintained its relationship to the plane. What do I mean by that? Well, literally the shaft is only inches away from the plane, but the club head has travelled in an arc, which is what we want it to do. And again, just concentrate on the way the action of the club head's moving. So if the club's travelling behind you too much, the club head is in fact staying too low to the ground, too horizontal if you will. The club head is not travelling up and down enough. If you want to chip and pitch better, I'm going to hit a little chip shot here. Notice that I've got the centre of my shoulders forward of the golf ball. So if I suspend a club, it's forward of the golf ball. That's where I want to have my shoulders. I don't want to have them level or even behind. And by simply having my shoulders, the centre of my shoulders forward of the ball, I feel weight on my front side, so I don't have to try and push it there. So the club travels up and down the plane. This is just a chip shot. Up the plane and down and through, like so. Ball's gone a short distance, which is what we want it to do, but it's been hit properly. Ball first, ground second. One more, this is a longer shot. Again, on the planes, club travelling up the plane, down the plane. Now that ball's been struck with a maximum amount of spin, so when it hits the green, it's going to grab the green and start biting for you. This is the best way I know for improving this aspect of your game. You could do this with cardboard. That would be the way to do it. Get yourself a cardboard box and set it up so that you can do this. And just practicing at home, just practice running the club up and down the plane. You can see it there. I'm going in slow, really slow here for you. Shafts forward, There are the planes set up, clubs travelling up the plane, down the plane, it gets the ball, then it gets the ground, and the club maintains its relationship to the plane. If you practice this exercise, study the video, watch it over and over, learn to understand how the golf club strikes the ball, there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to hit your pitch shots 1000% better than you do right now. If you're someone who hits a few shanks and shots like that, this is going to fix it straight away. You'll be hitting the ball much more out of the centre of the club face, because the more you maintain your relationship to this inclined plane here, the less likely you are to hit the ball outside the centre of the club face. So I hope this lesson has really helped you to understand these two planes, particularly this one, this attack plane or angle of approach plane. Study it, as I said, practice it, and you're going to see tremendous results in the near future.